Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to our channel. Have you ever seen someone so perfect that you questioned if they were even real? Someone whose visuals look like they were literally generated by artificial intelligence? Well, let me introduce you to Karina from AESPA, the idol who's been breaking the internet since 2020 because people genuinely can't believe she's human. And here's the thing, her AI-like visuals are just the beginning. Wait until you hear about her dance skills that have professional choreographers speechless, and a voice that'll give you literal chills. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Karina isn't just another K-pop idol, she's a phenomenon that's redefining what it means to be perfect. But stick around, because I'm going to reveal something shocking about what happened to her just last week that has fans worried about the future of AESPA in 2026. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Karina's visuals. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this woman looks like she was designed in a computer lab. Born Yoo Ji-min on April 11, 2000, in Suwon, South Korea, Karina literally became the face of SM Entertainment's most experimental concept ever. When AESPA debuted in November 2020 with Black Mamba, the concept was revolutionary. Each member had a virtual AI counterpart called an AE. But here's the wild part, people couldn't tell which one was the real Karina and which one was the AI. In October 2025, a photo of Karina on an LED screen went absolutely viral because netizens were convinced it was CGI. The image looked so perfect, so impossibly flawless, that people were analyzing it pixel by pixel trying to prove it was computer-generated. Plot twist? It was just Karina being Karina. And this isn't a one-time thing. Since her debut, fans have compiled literal lists of moments where she looked more AI than her actual AI counterpart. During the Next Level era, which fans crowned as her legendary visual era, the behind-the-scenes footage had over 6,000 people commenting that she defied human logic. Her face proportions, her skin, her features, everything looks like it was mathematically calculated for perfection. But here's what makes it even more insane, this isn't makeup tricks or heavy editing. Her pre-debut photos from when she was just a regular student have surfaced multiple times, and guess what? She looked exactly the same. The natural beauty was already there, which is why some netizens genuinely believe she inspired AESPA's entire AI concept. Publications like Paper Magazine have tried to put it into words, calling her visual presence otherworldly and luminescent. Even her childhood photos show those signature big eyes and that sculptural side profile that would make Renaissance painters weep. And wait until you hear this, Karina was actually discovered through social media. An SM Entertainment recruiter saw her posts and slid into her DMs. She thought it was fake at first until they sent their business card. That's right, she was so stunning that scouts were actively hunting her down online. But here's where it gets really interesting, because looking perfect is one thing, but what Karina does when she moves, that's on a completely different level. And I'm about to show you exactly why professional dancers can't stop talking about her. If you think Karina's visuals are impressive, her dance skills will absolutely blow your mind. She's not just the visual of AESPA, she's the main dancer, and that position was earned, not given. Let me paint you a picture. Before AESPA even debuted, Karina was already performing with legends. In February 2019, she appeared in Shiny Taemin's Want music video as a backup dancer. And then in November 2020, right before her debut, she performed an entire dramatized dance piece with EXO's Kai, one of SM Entertainment's most legendary dancers, for a Hyundai collaboration. People who saw that performance said something that still gets repeated today, she matched Kai move for move. That's not just impressive, that's insane. We're talking about someone who wasn't even officially an idol yet, going toe-to-toe with a veteran who's known for his godly dance skills. But what makes Karina's dancing so special? In an interview, she described her own style as having big dance moves, meaning powerful, sharp, and commanding. When AESPA performs intense choreography like Savage, Next Level, or their latest 2025 releases, Dirty Work and Rich Man, Karina doesn't just hit the moves, she dominates them. Her fellow member Giselle once revealed that when Karina's happy, she literally hits people's butts. That explosive energy? You see it on stage. Every single movement is executed with this perfect blend of power and precision that makes it look effortless, even when the choreography is brutally difficult. And here's a fun fact that shows her dedication. During AESPA's Rich Man promotions in September 2025, when the company was giving them a surprisingly short promotional period, who was the one keeping AESPA visible? Karina. She was filming TikTok challenges on her days off, hanging out with friends like rapper Lee Young-ji, and still managing to promote the song better than the actual promotional team. Fans defended her dedication, pointing out that she was literally celebrating a friend's birthday and still thinking about keeping AESPA in the public eye. That's the level of commitment we're talking about. Her solo stages are legendary too. In 2024, she released her first solo song, Up, which became a hit, even earning her a music show win on Show Music Core, her first ever solo award. The choreography for Up became so iconic that during their 2024 to 2025 world tour, fans would go absolutely wild whenever she performed it. Videos from their Tokyo Dome performance show the crowd losing their minds over the dance break. But I need to address something because being honest is important. Not everyone thinks Karina's dancing is flawless. In September 2025, some critics analyzed a clip from some town in Jakarta and argued that she sometimes rushes through movements without completing them fully, making the performance look messy. As the main dancer, she faces intense scrutiny that maybe isn't always fair, but it shows how high the expectations are for her. Now, here's what most people don't know about Karina, and this is where things get really interesting. Because while everyone's been focused on her face and her dancing, she's been hiding something that's about to change everything. Let's talk about Karina's voice, because this is where people really underestimate her. When you first think of Karina, you think visual, you think dancer, you think leader. But Billboard literally put it in writing that she's an all-rounder skilled in vocals, rap and dance. That's not hype, that's facts. Here's what's crazy. Karina is technically listed as a sub-vocalist and lead rapper in AESPA, but her actual vocal ability is way beyond what those positions suggest. In 2025, during AESPA's performance at Oakland Arena, music critics specifically pointed out the group's vocal versatility and pitch-perfect belting. The group was praised for being one of the few K-pop acts that excel in both pop spectacles and actual vocal performances. Paper magazine called her voice sultry when she raps, but there's something about her singing that hits different. Fans describe it as having a divorce voice, meaning it sounds emotional, raw, and like she's lived through heartbreak even though she's only in her mid-20s. When she sings ballads or emotional parts, there's this dramatic, almost haunting quality that makes you feel every single word. During AESPA's song, Drama, her vocal parts went viral on TikTok because people couldn't believe how much emotion she packed into every line. One fan commented, "The way she sings like she's been through 100 divorces just makes it 10x better." That's the power of her voice. It doesn't just sound pretty, it makes you feel something. And in April 2025, she got to showcase her vocals in a completely different way. She was featured on the band Janabi's song, May the Tenderness Be With You, the title track of their fourth studio album. This wasn't a typical Idol feature, this was Karina stepping into the indie rock space and absolutely nailing it. Critics praised how she adapted her voice to match the band's sound while still maintaining her own color. Her vocal range is legitimately impressive too. Analysis videos on TikTok have broken down her performances, showing she can hit surprisingly high notes and has solid breath control even while performing complex choreography. During their performances of Whiplash and Supernova, she maintained vocal stability that many idols struggle with. But here's my favorite thing about Karina's vocals, she's a student of the game. She cites Camila Cabello, IU, Taeyeon from Girls' Generation, and Kalani as her influences. She studies how they use their voices, how they deliver emotion. When Billboard interviewed her before AESPA's Coachella debut, she talked about how Beyoncé's performance inspired her. She said, "I still can't forget her charisma and energy on stage. That's someone who's constantly learning and evolving." And get this, during AESPA's concerts, each member performs a solo. Karina doesn't just dance during hers, she sings live, raps live, commands an entire arena by herself. That's not something you can fake. But now we need to talk about something serious that happened just this past week. Because while Karina might seem perfect, the reality of being in the spotlight is taking its toll. And what she said recently has fans genuinely worried. On January 3, 2026, just days ago, Karina appeared on a variety show with Jang Do-yeon, and she said something that broke fans' hearts. When asked what she'd want to be reincarnated as, she didn't hesitate. "I'd like to live as a man. It's such a different life." She said it casually, even laughed about it. But fans immediately understood the weight behind those words. Because Karina has been one of the most scrutinized, criticized, and targeted female idols in the industry. In 2025 alone, she faced multiple controversies that weren't even her fault. During South Korea's presidential election in May, she posted a photo wearing a red jacket with the number 2 on it, and it sparked massive political controversy because people thought she was supporting a specific candidate. She had to delete the post and publicly apologize, saying, "I was truly ignorant. I should have known better." She's been dragged for her social media posts, criticized for her promotional efforts, and subjected to intense double standards that male idols never face. When she said she'd rather be reborn as a man, fans pointed out that she's been a victim of systematic misogyny in the industry. And it's not just about controversies. It's about the impossible standards she's held to. Every photo is analyzed. Every performance is scrutinized. Every word is dissected. Can you imagine living like that? But here's the thing, despite everything, Karina keeps going. In March 2025, she donated 100 million won, about $87,000, to help with wildfire recovery efforts. She didn't make a big deal about it, she just did it because it was the right thing to do. And she's not stopping. At the 2025 Mama Awards in November, where AESPA won Best Dance Performance, Best Choreography, and Fans' Choice Top 10, Karina announced huge news: AESPA will release their second full album in 2026. She promised, "We will work hard on it, so I hope you give it lots of love." She's also returning for Season 2 of the Netflix show, Agents of Mystery, scheduled for 2026. Plus, she's been spotted filming for various shows including Getaway and Go with Jang Do-yeon, where she recently had an archery showdown with Jang Do-yeon. Billboard recognized her as one of the top idols that dominated 2025, noting that as the face of AESPA, she played a key role in expanding their fandom both domestically and internationally and contributed greatly to elevating aespa's brand value. So, is Karina too perfect to be human? Maybe. Her AI-like visuals defy logic. Her dance skills make professionals stop and stare. Her voice carries emotion that shouldn't be possible from someone so young. But underneath all that perfection is someone who's fighting battles we don't see. Someone who works harder than most people realize. Someone who, despite being treated like an impossible standard, is still just a 25-year-old woman trying to navigate an industry that demands nothing less than perfection 24/7. As ESPA prepares for their second full album in 2026, one thing is clear: Karina isn't just a pretty face or a talented dancer. She's a force of nature who's redefining what it means to be a K-pop idol in this generation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Karina, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more K-pop content. Drop a comment telling me, what's your favorite Karina moment? And should I cover other news next? Let me know. See you in the next one. Annyeong.